Strength is not operating when you feel like you're strong, or when you feel like you're all put together, or when you feel like you look your best, or when you feel like everything that you'd planned to happen and the way you planned it to happen when it happens. The strength of God often makes itself known when you feel like you just can't handle not one more thing. And then grace slides in and says, but I can. You know, we had a 40th anniversary at our church a few years back, and I don't remember exactly all of the list of small things, the total list of all the small things that were going wrong. I just remember there was a season of things, and you have those seasons where it's just like, can it just stop? Little small things that weren't the end of the world, but the cherry on top, or the straw that broke the camel's back, was that the same day as the evening, we were having this big celebration at church, which meant I had to do all this stuff. And I ran an errand, and someone was home with my children. And I got a phone call that said that one of my sons, who was trying to be Spider-Man, had fallen, broken his arm. So this was the day before. I was running errands. And so, of course, we took him to the ER. I remember the look on his face. And my husband, I met them at the ER. And he said, Mom, I can't move my arm. I mean, it was visibly broken. And he said, I can't move my arm. And it's just like, okay. And I'm worried about him, but I know he'll be fine. Lots of kids break their arms. I'm not one of those weird out moms, or maybe I was, but he's number 5, and it doesn't bother me anymore. They'll put him back together again, where's it? But I just remember thinking, I can't believe that it just won't stop, Something in the house had broken down, it was just a list of things. And now this, and it was one of those, God, you have to be kidding me moments. I don't know if you've ever had that happen. It's just like, so from the hospital room the next day, my aunt came and said, I'll stay with him. Y'all still need to go to the anniversary thing. So it's a very special thing for my parents. So I ran home while she was there, got some clothes. I came back to the hospital room, got dressed in the bathroom at the hospital. So I was trying to be with him as much as I could. And then I got to the event. I got to the event late, of course. There's a lot going on. I'll never forget that afterwards it was over, and I was, doing what I had to do to get back to the hospital. Son is in the hospital. That someone walked up to me and she said, I don't know what it is about you today. She said, you just look beautiful. You're all dolled up, and it's a great anniversary to celebrate your parents. She said, but there's something particularly surreal and strong about you today. And I just remember thinking, it's probably because I'm stonewalling all of you, trying not to absolutely lose it, And I don't know if you've had that experience where there's chaos reigning in you, and then someone outside of you comments on how you just look beautiful today, or I could just see the grace of God on you today, or the word that you spoke today was so powerful. And you know that before you led that Bible study or shared that scripture, that you were just thinking, I don't even know how I'm going to get through this. I think about that instance because it was memorable. It was a special event. There was something really wrong that had gone wrong. But I think about that in comparison to my bad days, just a bad day. Today was just a mom bad day. Today the traffic was bad on top of X, Y, and Z. What God can do in you and through you with what people may never know about, but that he sustains you to walk in that. Yeah. And so when I shared with that person at that event, I said, well, I'm glad that that's what you see, because let me tell you, I got dressed in a hospital bathroom, and I'm going to leave this event and go back to that hospital room and lay down next to my son. And she said, well, it's the grace of God on you then. Right. I wonder what would happen if we walked in that knowledge that the grace of God actually sustains us and strengthens us and displays itself well when we don't even have the ability or the strength of mind to display it. I often think for me, it's when I'm at the end of myself that God's glory is seen better than me trying to put on a show. Yeah. So there's something that happens when you cross from my energy to the strength that God is giving me to walk in this. 3 years ago, when My cousin Winter passed away. She was in her early 30s and 4 girls from ages 10 to 13. And it was sudden and unexpected. She wasn't ill. And the day of her funeral was the same day as our women's conference. Mm. And I looked at my mom and I was like, so we still doing the conference? Shut it all down. I can't do any of this. Yeah. And we went through it. But I remember thinking, and I led worship that day. One of the songs that we sang was It Is Well With My Soul. Mm-hmm. And someone commented to me after it, because you're just thinking in the middle of things, how do I get through this moment? Right. She said, I've sung that song 1,000,000 times, but it was singing it on that day. Mm. Yeah. And you singing it, sometimes not singing it because you couldn't get through it. Yeah. The tears falling, knowing that after you left this conference today, you were going to go bury someone you loved. That song has never meant more to me than any other time than in that moment. Wow. When I saw you choosing to rehearse what you believed about God. Right. So I think we often mistake what strength looks like or even what it feels like. Strength is not operating when you feel like you're strong or when you feel like you're all put together or when you feel like you look your best or when you feel like everything that you'd planned to happen and the way you planned it to happen when it happens. The strength of God often makes itself known when you feel like you just can't handle not one more thing. Yeah. And then grace slides in and says, but I can. Yeah. And you just ride that. I know we all know, 2 Corinthians is a scripture that talks about God's strength being perfected in our weakness, but I'm also reminded of David saying, my flesh and my heart may fail. Mm-hmm. Like they actually will fail. Like it's not even weakness, it's just failure. Mm-hmm. I cannot. But God is the strength of my heart. Mm-hmm. God is my portion forever. Yeah. And this idea that when we get to the end of ourselves, that God has always been there, but that's when we run out of gas, that's where his strength full on continues to carry us.
At TBN, our mission is to use every available means to reach as many individuals and families as possible with the life-changing gospel of Jesus Christ.
Thank you for helping make the gospel of grace go around the world.
And it's because of you that partner with us that this ministry continues. God bless you.